My name is Jo. I am a shaman. I am a Reiki master. I am a certified Tibetan sound bowl healer. I am a mother. I am a daughter. I am a lover. I am a woman. I am a friend. I am a sister. I am named and I am nameless. I am one with all and I am one of a kind. I am all and I am none, just like you. You cannot define me. I am undefinable, and so are you. And in this space, we are all equal. The heart of the drum. Every drum is different. None of them sound the same. I create and tie so many, and they are all one of a kind. And they teach me about life. It takes days to prepare the buffalo hide. Not unlike the womb, it begins in water. Some hides are thick or thin, strong or weak, supple or stiff. The process stinks. As I weave each hide, though, and I sew the drum, it tells me a story. My favorite drums are the scarred drums, the crooked ones, the ones that dry and shift their very own way. Sometimes there are healed gashes and claw marks that I see on these drums. I feel them and I feel their journey. The drum is meant to beat. It is meant to sing. And in spite of the crookedness or the scars or the weak spots, the drum sings. It beats. It is like the human heart. With life, we will get scars. We will get hurt. But we can also create. We can continue to beat on. Drums are not meant to sit silent, or to hang on the wall, or to be hidden in a closet. They are meant to sing, and we are the same. This presentation is about speaking your truth. So I've come to speak mine. What you may not know about me is I've stood on stages across the globe. I've spoken to audiences of 10,000 and I've spoken to audiences of 2 people. People seem to think I have something to say, and I never prepare anything. That poem, if you will, that reading, is free for you. Log on to katiejodrum.com if that touched your heart, and I will email that to you to print. You can hang it on your wall, you can hang it on your fridge. And remind yourself that no matter what happens in your life, we are here to drum. We are here to beat. We are here to sing. This is my truth. I did not cradle and cuddle and nurture my son the night before he died. I yelled at him. I didn't know he would die in 10 hours. I held my 5-year-old on my hip with a 5-month pregnant belly. And my 2-year-old died before my eyes. The woman on 911 said, "Get your daughter out of the room so she doesn't witness this." So I did. I had called my mother-in-law before this had happened because I said, "Something's wrong, Susan. I can tell something's wrong, but I don't know what." And she lived a block away, so I knew it would be fine. She'd stop by. But by the time she got there, I was on the phone with 911. My mother-in-law's a nurse. When I saw her pull up to the house, I opened the door and I screamed, "Help me, Susan, help me." And it was too late. The paramedics did not do anything to my son. They saw him, they picked him up, and they took him away. I knew he was gone because when we pulled up to the hospital, nobody ran out to save him. And we walked into the emergency room and all of the staff stopped because they already knew. They shuffled me, my husband, and my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law into a side room. And we waited. The doctor came in and he said, "He's gone." My blonde, blue-eyed boy that would sneak in the shower with me in his pajamas. I would turn around and there he would be, splashing. Was gone. And in that moment I learned that you can die from pain, because in that moment I left my body. And I then looked down on the room and I saw the woman sitting in the chair where I was sitting as she screamed. She was not screaming words, she was screaming. She was screaming a primal, guttural scream that made no sense. And to my right, there stood a being of light. And I said to this being, "She is making a ruckus." I said that. And the being said to me, "She can. Her baby just died." My mother-in-law sat in the chair. I saw my husband face down on the ground, crying. My mother-in-law said this was not supposed to happen. And the being to my right said, "Yes, this was the plan." And when those words were spoken, I went back into my body to be with the pain again. We could not reach my father. He's a businessman. He was in meetings in Salt Lake. We called, but this is before cell phones. We were paging. When we finally reached my father, and he finally made it down to the hospital hours later, the strongest man I've ever met and knew in my life walked in, and I saw with every step he was collapsing. And as I wrapped my arms around my father, he wept like a child weeps, and his body shook. And I held my father and I said, "It will be okay, Dad." And my dad, who has never spoken a lie to me, didn't lie to me then. He told me the truth. He said, "It's not okay, and it will never be okay, Katie." 15 years later, I stand before you and I'm here to tell you it's not. There is not one day that goes by that I am okay. There never has been. I live, I beat, I sing. It has never been okay. It has never not hurt. It has never lessened in pain. I have learned to live beyond it. I sat at the hospital. They had a wooden rocking chair. And I rocked the body of my dead son. And I sang him the lullabies I used to sing him when he was a baby. Eventually, someone came. They made me give him his body to them. And they took his body away. And they took his body away in a bag. There's never been an answer what happened. His death certificate said, "We don't know, undetermined cause." What do you do when there is no answer? What I did is I decided that God hated me. What I did is I decided that I wasn't good enough. What I did is I decided I wasn't a good mom. Because if I was better, I would have protected that child. Because honestly, crack whores keep their babies alive. And I didn't. That is the greatest failure of my life. No one has ever solved that for me. I understand divine will and I understand divine providence, but no one has solved that for me because that is my greatest failure. And the question that haunts me day to day is, did he know I love him? Because all I had that day, that moment, all I had that entire 19 months I had him, was the opportunity for him to know he was loved by his mother. And I yelled at him the night before he died. Did he know? And I am not perfect. And I am still not a perfect mother. And I still have bad days just like anyone else. And I know this. And I know what life has taught me. But when this happens, when life happens, when the scars happen, when the beating happens, when the gashes occur, will you still beat? Will you still sing? They will still be there. I am still going through my journey. I am still going through my journey. I do not believe that there is somebody out there dictating my life. I do not believe that there is a God who's playing my life like a video game or Mario Kart. Because if that's true, don't ever tell me, well, they know more. He must have better faith in me than I do. He wouldn't give me anything I couldn't handle. That gives me anger. Because if God's out there playing my life, he's an asshole. I will tell you what I believe, though. I believe that we choose our challenges. I don't believe God did this to me. I think that I promised. I think I agreed to it. I think that at any moment, if I asked, God could have taken that out of my path. And my higher self, that self said, no, don't. Because there's something she's supposed to do here on the planet. There's something she's supposed to learn. And that girl is so damn stubborn, she's not going to learn it any other way. And so my higher self, in partnership with my son Jonah, is his name. He agreed to teach me what love is. He agreed to teach me there's only today. He agreed to teach me that we are imperfect, but we can still sing. And after that happens, when things like that happen in your life, do you know what matters? Not Black Friday sales. Right? How many of you have gone through maybe not child loss, but something horrifically traumatic? And you're standing there and looking at somebody a week later and they're talking to you about a sale at the mall? Right? Or they hold your hand and they say, oh, they're in a better place. And you're looking at them like, let me tell you where I am. Let me tell you, thank you. Those moments, these things that we all do. I'm known as the drum lady. 9 to 5, do you know what I do? I sell diamonds. Nobody even knows that. That's what I do. I sell diamonds. I'm a certified Tibetan bowl master. I have bowls 400 years old that I walked to the Tibetan refugee market myself and handpicked. There's so much more to me. And all of it doesn't matter. The bowls don't matter. The artifacts don't matter. I'm teaching a free, by the way, workshop on sacred artifacts. Guess what? I'm the artifact. Whether your kid knows their ABCs by 2 years old, right? Because that matters. Whether they wear Gap jeans, because that matters. Whether they're drinking from the sippy cup or whether they're drinking from the bottle at 15 months matters a lot. Okay? All of this really matters. All of it's really, really, really important, right? Who's dating who? Bachelor, bachelorette really matters. I super love Chopped. Just so you know, Chopped matters. Chopped's the bomb. But things shifted for me. When I was asked to speak, I was keynote at the World Parliament of Religions. Does any of you know who Marianne Williamson is? She was on the stage behind me. I didn't prepare anything. If you've come to this class to learn what Speak Your Truth is about, it's about this. It's not about sounding right. It's not about all these other things. It's about we have this moment in time. What will you say? And that happens with your children, and that happens with your lover, and that happens with your friends, that happens with your sisters. We have just this moment, nothing else. Nothing else. And in that moment, all we have is surrender. And there's so many times that I went into something and I'm like, yeah, I feel good about this. I feel good about this. Right step. I'm taking the steps. Yes, praying is going. Yeah, I'm clear. I'm supposed to do this. And then the whole thing blew up. Did anybody did that before? And you're like, what happened here? Am I wrong? Am I stupid? Am I dumb? I'm asking what happened. I have never been more religious and righteous in my life than when God took my child. Give yourself a perfection complex there. Because my best wasn't good enough to save his life. See all the mind things that happened inside me? I've kept a journal from the time I was 5 years old, every night, or almost every night. When I didn't feel like I had a voice, I would write pages and pages and pages. I have a box this big. I have volumes of my writings. For a child that felt like they had no voice and no place in this world. And honestly, I really don't know that I still do have a place in this world. I'm just being honest. I feel so different than everyone so much of the time. That was where I spoke. The day Jonah died, I wrote, my son died. I never wrote again for 5 years. It's only been recently, and when I say recently, maybe the last year, that I'm willing to speak about it, because I'm barely at the place where I can speak about it now. There's nothing in my life that has torn me apart like that has. And I still don't know that I'm whole. And I don't know that I ever will be. I'm known for these drum circles, and I'm known for all these healing things and working with cancer patients and addiction recovery and all these other things that I do. And I feel like the gist of it truly is not because I know anything or not because I'm some saintly, compassionate person. It's because I can only bear my pain. So I will do everything that I can to assist others in healing theirs. Because I see our brothers and sisters with pain, with healing that gets to be done, and I am part of it. I am there with everyone else. And just like Autumn says, if we all just do a little bit, if we all just hold out the hand and say, I got you, I got you, that there are times when those of us will lean, and there are times when others will lift. And it doesn't have to be something big. It can be a girl sitting out on a mountaintop with a drum, and nobody else sees her and nobody else heard, and there are no words to be spoken, and it can be just that moment of peace. And sometimes that's all I have. And then guess what we do, and all of you do it. We take care of the kids, and we go to work, and we drive the cars, and we pay the bills, and we watch Gossip Girl, whatever. I don't watch Gossip Girl. And we have these beautiful, precious moments where you see the people you love, or you have this moment with the person you love, and you remember what it's all about. This is a little bit vulnerable, but I'll tell it to you because it's a little open for me. But even just last night, I lay in the arms of my sweetheart, and I heard his heartbeat. Tears rolled down my face. That's one of those moments. Being in the arms of someone you love and feeling the life inside them. This is my truth. And I have spoken across the world, and I could have told you, I've read books about how to speak. I could have given you to-do lists, and I didn't. Instead, I spoke to you my truth. Did we figure it out, the music? I'm going to invite you all to have a piece of surrender in this moment. What does it look like? What does it feel like to surrender? Sometimes there are no answers. Sometimes there is no resolution. Sometimes there's no big, grandiose, I have my shit together moment. Sometimes there's just, I am here and I'm willing to be real. And when we do that, we give everyone else permission to be real too. And in that space of authenticity, in that space of I see you and you see me, the real connection can happen, the real love can happen. And those of us who walk through this world mostly feeling completely alone recognize we are not. Every drum is different. None of them sound the same. They are all one of a kind, and they teach me about life. It takes days to prepare the buffalo hide. Not unlike a womb, it begins in water. Some hides are thick, some are thin, some are strong, and some are weak, supple or stiff. The process can stink. As I weave each hide, though, and sew the drum, it tells me a story. My favorite drums are the scarred ones, the crooked ones, the ones that dry and shift their own way. Sometimes there are healed gashes and claw marks I see upon the hide, and as I see them, I feel them. The drum is meant to beat. It is meant to sing. And in spite of the crookedness or the scars or the weak spots, it sings. It is like the human heart. With life, we will get scars. We will get hurt. But we can also create. We can continue to beat on. Drums aren't meant to sit silent or hang on the wall or be stuffed in the closet. They are meant to sing. We are the same. This is my truth. Thank you.